Heartbreaker, Rolling Stones, here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. We begin today's show with a Democracy Now! Broadcast exclusive. We air for the first time surveillance footage connected to the shooting of Sean Bell. Bell was the unarmed African-American man killed by undercover police in a hail of 50 bullets in Queens, New York, 2 weeks ago. He died hours before he was supposed to be married, and 2 of his friends were seriously wounded. This footage is from 2 surveillance cameras at the Port Authority's Jamaica Avenue Air Train Station, which is a half a block away from the shooting site. The video reveals that one of the bullets, fired by the 5 cops, narrowly missed striking a civilian and 2 Port Authority patrolmen who were standing on the station's elevated platform. One video shows a bullet shattering a window in the station and then nearly hitting the man. The second video shows 2 police officers scrambling for cover inside the station after the shot was fired. The content of the video was first revealed in the New York Daily News by Democracy Now! Co-host Juan Gonzalez, but it has never been aired before. In a moment, we'll be joined by Bishop Erskine Williams. He's the bishop of the New Seasons Family Worship Center in Queens and a pastor for the families of Sean Bell's 2 injured friends. But first, we turn to co-host Juan Gonzalez. Juan, explain the significance of this video footage.
Well, I think one of the things it shows, number one, is that there were a lot more people endangered that night by this shooting, the 50-shot barrage of the police officers at the scene, 5 cops at the scene, plainclothes and undercover. There had been a report that there had been at least one errant bullet, and I think Graham Witherspoon, when he was on the show, also talked about one that went into a home and hit a lamp. But it turns out that this particular bullet that went to the air train,
this is the train to the plane, to Kennedy Airport.
Yes, the Port Authority's train to the plane. And the Jamaica station is right down Liverpool Street where the shooting occurred, about half a block away from the shooting. And also it's an elevated station. So these bullets had to travel from the ground up, considerably up in the air to reach the platform of the elevated station. And the video that was made available to me by a source shows there's a Port Authority police 2 cameras, and it shows, as we saw in the video, that one elderly gentleman with his luggage was the bullet almost hit him in the head, because you actually see the trail of the bullet shattering the glass and right at the eye level of the man right in front of him. And he drops his luggage and runs, and the 2 Port Authority police nearby scampered away. One actually has filed for a line of duty injury. And the calmest person in the video is apparently a transportation safety agency employee who's also waiting for the train, I guess, to go, a TSA agent, to go to Kennedy. And he hears the shots and he turns calmly around and looks to see what's happening. But everyone else is terrified on the train, including the 2 police who thought they were being attacked. They then radioed to their command that they were being fired upon because they were not on the same radio frequency as the police department, so they had no idea what was going on just downstairs. And
you see them running down, and then one slips and falls.
Right, one slips and falls. He's the one who filed for a line of duty injury as a result of his slip, yes.
For our radio listeners, you can go to our website at democracynow.org, and you will be able to see the footage that we have been describing right now, again, from 2 vantage points, it looks like 2 Port Authority cameras.
Cameras that were on the platform, yes.
Juan, you also have been reporting about, and there is a police report on the so-called 4th person.
Right. Well, I reported in the Daily News this week that there's been a lot of talk ever since the shooting that there was allegedly a 4th person who tried to either get into or out of Sean Bell's car just before police opened fire, and who may have had a gun. And in fact, for a while, police sources were actually identifying someone they'd picked up as, quote, the fourth man, because this would be very important, because if there was a fourth person with a gun, then the police officers who fired would have more justification for this incredible number of shots that they fired if they thought they were really being attacked by someone with a gun. Well, I reported in the Daily News that all of the radio dispatches that were issued that night, immediately after the shooting, by the police at the scene, the cops who fired, as well as the conversations between authorities, never mentioned a fourth man, never mentioned someone with a gun had escaped from the scene. The police never conducted a manhunt for a fourth man. So that this, quote, fourth man really developed subsequently, but at the scene, which is the most important time for any investigator, the moments after an event like this, nobody ever mentioned a fourth man. And in addition, there were all kinds of communications lapses among the 9 cops, because there were a total of 9 plainclothes and undercover cops at the scene.
Plainclothes cops in the Kahlua nightclub where Sean and his 2 friends were having a bachelor party.
Right, there was a bachelor party going on, and there was actually a surveillance team. Not all of the police went into the club. Total of 3, according to the police reports, entered the club at any one time. And the others were backup teams that were supposed to come in if they had found any illegal activity, conducted any arrests. There was a backup van to hold prisoners, and that was the van that actually collided with Sean Bell's car. So that there was a total of 9 police officers at the scene total. But there were communications lapses between them. One of them, one car with 2 female officers, when the shooting started, actually traveled quite a bit of distance away from the scene, and were totally were
oblivious to all of that?
Well, it was they didn't know what was going on. They were lost. They couldn't tell the radio dispatchers where they were, the exact location of where they were, so there were all kinds of problems with the management and the operation of that team. Apparently, from the initial reports that I've been able to be briefed on.
We are now joined by Bishop Erskine Williams. He's Bishop of the New Seasons Family Worship Center and pastor for the Benefield and Guzman families. He himself had his own sons rounded up in the days after the Bell shooting. We welcome you to Democracy Now!
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
As you watched this video for the first time, what were your thoughts?
It's reprehensible, appalling, disgusting to see that if an incident occurred on the ground, why shots being fired overhead, which somewhat gives me to understand at the meeting that we had at City Hall with the mayor and the police commissioner. Police Commissioner Kelly made mention of the fact that this particular unit is allowed to have 2 drinks on the job. And I raised the issue, who's monitoring the fact whether they have 2 drinks or 10 drinks? Who's to say it's beer as opposed to vodka? It would lead one to believe that they may have been inebriated. If they're trained to shoot at a target, it wasn't overhead. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
And also, could you talk about the experiences that have occurred with your own sons? Because I think one of the big criticisms of many leaders in the black community is that even subsequent to the shooting, which itself is still to be fully explained, there has been a dragnet in Southeast Queens by the police picking up young black men and trying to question them about what they know about any of the individuals who have been the victims of this attack.